I want you to take a look at this tennis racket. This is a Dunlop Black Max. It's got a 85 square inch head size, fairly normal proportions, but it's a lot smaller than what you'd see nowadays sold at Walmart. Now I want you to take a look at this tennis racket. You can see these two have the same width, but this one is elongated, significantly elongated. And it kind of looks like a snowshoe. We're going to be going over rackets that look like a snowshoe and talk about how they play on this episode of Retro Rackets Rediscovered. Welcome to Retro Rackets Rediscovered, the channel where we find old tennis rackets at thrift shops, rediscover the history of them, and test them out on the tennis court. These snowshoe-looking tennis rackets come from the early 80s, back when Head still manufactured tennis rackets in the United States. I've got 4 of them in my collection. We've got 2 Head Graphite Directors, one of them's a TXD, a Head Composite Director, and a ProKennex Bronze Dominator. The Graphite Directors are frames composed of 100% graphite. The Composite Director has some fiberglass built into it, and the Bronze Dominator tells us it's 60% graphite and 40% fiberglass. For the most part, these elongated frames have mid-sized counterparts. In the case of Head, you have Graphite Tour, which is the mid-size. These are longer. In the case of ProKennex, you have the Ace series. The Bronze Dominator, though, differs from Bronze Ace. It doesn't have the nylon throat piece. But there were other rackets like this that did have a nylon throat piece, specifically the Head Tournament Director. That one was aluminum framed, and that one was actually used by Tim Mayotte to win the 1985 Lipton Classic. These snowshoe frames, I would say, are weird and probably not used too much on the tournament scene, mainly marketed towards recreational players. Now, regarding the shape of the rackets, I should say they're more snowshoe ovally shaped and not ovally shaped how Yonex frames are. That's a completely different story, and we'll be going over Yonex in a future video. But with this oval shape and seemingly solid frames, they hit like a truck. And the unique sweet spot, I would say, leads to some not predictable results if you play someone who's not used to seeing one of these. So you could really surprise someone when you smack the ball with one of these. The Graphite Directors here, very stiff frame, hits great, good power. The Composite Director and the Bronze Dominator feel a bit softer on the arm, but they still hit pretty good. Now personally, I like the Graphite Director the most of these, just because it is stiff, it feels very powerful when you hit with it. And with the thin beam, you can get some finesse shots in there. Overall, great racket. You won't find anything modern that looks or plays like this. If you need something a bit less stiff on the arm, you have Composite Director, Bronze Dominator, and I think there's a few others from ProKennex and Head that you could pick from. Namely, the Composite Dominator, I think, is another choice. Dunlop has an extended version of the Black Max, and I've seen that in the store, but the one I saw wasn't in too good of shape, so I have left that. So now we've talked about some of the history of these, their shape, and unique properties. Let's go try them out in the tennis court. Now I gotta say, that was pretty fun, and these snowshoe rackets are a treat to hit with. I've got many more tennis rackets in my collection, so be sure to subscribe to Retro Rackets Rediscovered to never miss a wonderful racket discovery.